All right. Saw 2.
Saw Two Fingers.
Saw
as
Two
the
Fingers.
As the poster says.
The first movie was very successful immediately. Made over $100 million on a budget of $1 million. So
Was it 100 million?
Yeah,
I thought it was like 50 something.
according to this, 103 million.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of money.
Insane. That movie did so good based on its budget. Probably one of the highest returns on investment of any movie. But they immediately greenlit a sequel, Saw 2.
Mm-hmm.
James Wan did not return to direct. However, Lee Winnell still wrote, and it's still based on a story treatment James Wan participated in, from what I understand.
Yes. Well, so this movie, Darren Lynn Bousman,
Yep.
or Bowman Bousman, I don't know how to say
Bousman, I
Bousman.
think.
He's the director of this.
And 3 and 4 and
and
Spiral.
And Spiral, yep. Which is cool that they brought him back for Spiral. But this is his directorial debut.
Mm-hmm.
He had written a movie, I think it's called The Desperate, which later
That's
was
right, I was
adapted
reading
as like
this.
The Collector or something, a different
Okay.
movie. They originally thought of maybe doing it as a Saw prequel. I think it was Greg Hoffman, the producer of the first two movies, said, don't want to do a prequel. How about we make this, we take your the Desperate script, because this movie made a bunch of money, the original, and they're like, we got to make a sequel fast for next Halloween. They approached Bousman at this, and they adapted it into the sequel, which apparently Bousman's like, it has elements, but it's a really different movie. Which I guess we could watch The Collector and compare it if we really wanted to know. But yeah, interesting kind of behind Saw 2. They were never planning on making a sequel. In fact, on I remember distinctly on one of like the interviews I had listened to afterwards, they joked like why would there be a sequel? Like, what is it going to be? Like The Revenge of the One-Legged Doctor? Like that's what they joked. But they said that it's going to happen with or without us, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saw 2, it's Saw with Donnie Wahlberg.
Yes. Quadruple that budget. Use that to buy Donnie Wahlberg.
Essentially. Yes.
Yeah, it's it kind of starts the I would say it kind of starts the general premise for most of these movies. Like there's variants on the same formula, but it's kind of the start of the formula.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because I mean, this movie follows a police detective. I mean, similar to the last one, but the more personal stakes in this because his son was abducted. So he's trying to find Jigsaw and figure out where these people are and everything. Meanwhile, on the flip side, you have people in this house trying to figure out solve these challenges, trying to escape without dying by breathing in all this toxic fumes and whatnot. So a lot of Saw movies follow a similar premise to this, just having the two storylines go hand in hand. But this one, I used to say was my least favorite. But it's after rewatching them, I don't know if I would give an official ranking yet. It has gone up, but it's still lower tier for me.
So when I first watched it, I remember thinking, it's not that much lower. But then rewatching it this time, it is my least favorite of these four.
Yeah, same. Definitely.
And mainly because it's boring. To me, the house part could be a lot more exciting than it is.
Okay, so the house part, and this is like my third or fourth time watching this movie. And it wasn't until this time watching it that I really kind of pinpointed what I think is my problem with it. And it's that at a certain point, the challenges just stop happening.
Yeah, they first off, they're just trapped in a room for a long time.
Yeah, which isn't the most interesting thing. There's a timer on the door or whatever. They go through like 2 challenges, and I think it's second or third. They just like fail. So then the door locks, and then they're just the rest of the time with them in the house is just them screaming at each other and being miserable.
Yeah. And then like very late on, like the one lady discovers the other room.
Just a random side room.
Puts like her hands in there, which apparently there's like a box with the key on the other side. So she didn't even need to put her hands in there.
Oh, really?
Which for that one, there wasn't even like a tape.
No.
So it's like, why was that hers? And what, like,
yeah, it seemed like this is something that happens in other Saw movies. Like the traps are very personal to individual people. I mean, even in the first movie, like they're with Jigsaw's twisted logic, they're furnished around this is how these people live or how the people that are playing the game live. And yeah, it just doesn't, these challenges are just like kind of random for the most part. They don't seem as like personal to the individual people.
Okay, well, I think the exception to that is the needle trap. It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, the needle trap is great. It's an all timer for me because it is just it's so hard to watch.
Just throws Amanda in there too.
Oh my gosh. I first time I watched that, I like had to turn away for most of that scene. And I do know the trivia that they're just empty needles.
They're not. Well, they replaced 120,000 needles with fiber optic like cable.
Yeah.
Things, so they're like bendy. 100, and that wasn't enough, so they had to like put styrofoam at the bottom of the pit.
Yeah,
it's just pretty crazy.
It is a really hard scene to watch. I think a lot of that. I mean, you got Amanda giving a good performance there, with just how much pain.
Yeah, Shawnee Smith and some in some of those shots, I guess her arm is actually like a fake arm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I didn't notice, which I thought was cool.
I didn't either.
Cool touch.
But yeah, the editing and everything for that scene just makes it you can like feel almost every puncture and everything, and the sound effects and everything.
And they're like 1 second late.
Yeah,
that's my problem with this one. Trap's too hard. Like, dude.
Yeah, what?
Like, why do you need a timer for that? Like, if she digs through the pile, like, you already have the 2 hour overall timer.
What's the point of the extra timer?
Like, if she finds that in 2 hours, like, I think she earned it, man. Like, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but I think if you find it within 2 hours of that, I think she earned that one. Okay, I think I let her off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess the guy, I can't remember his name, who was supposed to be when he just threw Amanda in there.
Yeah.
That's just a disturbing scene.
Mm-hmm. What was the trap before that they go through?
The
successfully?
furnace.
Oh, the furnace,
which is not successful.
Okay,
they didn't do anything successfully.
That's true. You're right. But for some reason, they can still go on after the furnace.
I like how Jigsaw also reused X marks the spot. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, come on. I know ChatGPT didn't exist yet, but at least wait another movie to use the same line.
It's
again,
also
like
I don't understand how they just noticed the X right away. Like when they walk by it,
very inconspicuous.
It's just a shattered or a broken picture frame, which, clever, I guess, but it's not like they had been walking by that the whole time.
That perfectly.
I don't know.
Talent.
That is talent.
To get that.
I mean, he's an engineer, so
it's a. Do you think he's going to say X marks the spot and Saw X?
Oh, he has to. I hope so.
And I hope Amanda turns to him like, really, man?
Again?
X marks the spot?
Are you Saw 1 and 2, so she might not know.
Are you a big Pirates fan? You working with Craig Mazin on this new script, man?
Yeah.
So all this stuff, the furnace trap, which remember when you're in hell, only the devil can help you out or whatever he said. I don't know, something about the devil. And then it says the twist me, which okay, that works, but
I didn't fully get why the guy died half in the furnace.
He burned his bottom half burned to death.
I guess. I don't know. But it seemed like obviously he was burned, but it didn't seem like, I don't know. It didn't seem like he was burned enough for that to happen. I guess I don't know the physicality of burns necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've never been half burned to death, so I'm not going to judge the guy too harshly for not pulling through there. Yeah, that's a pretty disturbing one, him burning to death, which apparently they I think they found the house and they kind of did the traps around the house.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently I think that furnace or a furnace was already there or something.
So they saw that and
repurposed
good idea.
I think. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But yeah, what was another? They had another original plan, and maybe it's on the Wikipedia page. So I'm just gonna pull that up and see if I can find it. There was one that Lee Winnell had a plan for, and they had to repurpose it.
Well, was it the opening trap? The opening trap, I think, is I like the needle trap a lot, but the opening trap is hard to watch.
The Venus flytrap.
Venus flytrap one.
Think of it like a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, where he has to dig into his eye and everything.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that is very good.
He's like, is he an informant? Is that what he is? Think?
Yes, I think so.
Something like that. But yeah, no, I thought that was good. Let's see.
Yeah, police informant according to the Wikipedia. That's the first sentence. The plot.
Yeah, the Billy the puppet was upgraded with remote control eyes and a servo driven mouth.
Nice. Creepy.
Yes, talks about the needle trap here, hand trap. Okay, yeah. So they had to. The hand trap was hard because they had to figure out a way for her to get in there, but actually not cut herself. And then it says Hackle subsequently. This is the Hackle, I believe, is the prop designer or whatever. Subsequently commented that the character did not have to put her hands into the trap. So this is the one where she reaches in and she gets them trapped in there, as there was a lock and a key on the other side of the box that would have opened the contraption.
Okay.
And then it says the original idea for the furnace trap came from the house having been a crematorium at some point, but this would have involved turning the house into a funeral parlor. So it was instead decided that the furnace would be part of the house's boiler system.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Interesting.
There we go. I think I'm thinking of Saw 3 with the twisting trap.
Oh yeah,
which we'll talk about that in the next discussion. But we're on Saw 2 still, so we need to talk about Donnie Wahlberg and his half of just talking to Jigsaw, and Jigsaw's like, "Your son is in a safe place. He's safe. He's safe. And secure."
I think it's hilarious. Jigsaw, I guess, especially in these two movies. And this must just be like what Lee Winnell like wants him to be or whatever. I don't remember it being as much in the next movies. He is just a jerk like in these two movies because he's giving them everything they technically need if they were to have a lot of foresight. He's using a lot of wordplay in these two movies and everything that, for the twist reveal, it's, very fun to go back and know, that's what he was talking about. But no one in their right mind is going to think about what he's saying in that way. Like
all you have to do is just sit here and talk and listen.
Yeah.
Your son is safe and secure, I promise.
Yeah. Which I guess in that regard, I technically if he had just sat there and talked to him, he would be fine or whatever. But it's still very silly.
Which ultimately leads to his demise in Saw 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah, big domino effect.
Yeah. So I thought the twist of like it not of the whole stuff in the house having happened already was a pretty good twist.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What if his kid just dies? What if the crazy guy with the baseball bat with the nails in it just kills the kid?
They also just reuse that twist later on.
Yeah.
But it is. It's very fun because then when they find the computer consoles and everything, they think it's a live feed. They get to the house, they're like, wait, it's not a live feed. What the heck?
Yeah, this is a recording. It's a good twist.
Yeah, I like it. It's nice. And then of course Amanda being a Jigsaw
servant.
Yeah,
again,
accomplice.
What if she just got killed?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of the plot conveniences in this one. They brought back which we didn't mention this with our Saw 1 retrospective, but the car chase of just in the garage.
Right. I forgot about that first
and
one.
They're clearly not moving and just shaking the steering wheel. Classic.
Just flashing around super fast. What was the other thing I was going to say about this? We haven't talked about just the guy, the mean guy in the house.
Yeah, I told them. What if he just killed them all?
Oh, okay. But I was just like, he's just bad guy.
Think hard. Think like the answers in the back of your mind or whatever.
Yeah, he's just like crazy for the sake of crazy. He's just really mean in the beginning, and then in the end, he's just like him like going around to like kill everyone to get the name or the number on the back. It just doesn't make any sense. But
it's pretty cool when he cuts it off his own neck, though.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good moment.
That's
a very like Saw moment. Like he thought of this thing. He like he's committed to surviving, so he cuts the thing off his back of his neck. But it's like the dude didn't learn anything.
No,
like Jigsaw, you're a moron.
Well, it's also the only time that Hello Zepp plays not during the twist.
Yeah.
That was just something I noticed this
But
time.
it is like epic Saw moment.
It
so
is
I think
epic
it
Saw
does.
moment.
It warrants it. Yeah. My thing with this one is just it's too slow. Like the house stuff is just like
Yeah.
whatever. The Donnie Wahlberg confrontation with Jigsaw doesn't really go anywhere, and I think that works because it's like it builds up his frustration of like, dude, like clearly I care about my son.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, now you care about him when life is at stake. Or why is that? Why do you take him for granted? He's like, dude, just tell me where my son is. And he just beats the crap out of him. Batman versus Joker style.
I do think it's
Dark
funny
Knight.
when he just beats up old man, frail little Jigsaw.
Even at the end, Jigsaw's just sitting in the van, just bloody all over. Don't be offended, officer, but how can you put me in any more pain? He's like, I don't know. Let me just beat the crap out of you. That's like seems really painful.
I do think this is the start of just Tobin Bell doing really well in this series.
Yeah,
like he's fantastic as Jigsaw, and he's in this movie more, which is why I think that. It is funny though. I don't know if this is in your notes at all. He writes his own character in these movies.
It's like a lot of it's ad lib, right?
Yeah, and like he'll get the script and he'll like tell the writers like, no, he wouldn't do this. This is what he would do and stuff.
I love Tobin Bell because he loves playing Jigsaw.
He does.
Like the dude just loves it. He loves Saw. He's like, yeah. I saw an interview of him once. I think it was before Jigsaw came out. The prequel-ish movie. I don't know. We'll rewatch it.
Yeah.
But he's like, I went to the skate park and they're like, hey, you're Tobin Bell from Saw. He's like, yeah. You like those Saw movies? And they're like, yeah. They like get us to appreciate our life and stuff. He's like, that makes me feel pretty good.
That's the point.
So I love Tobin Bell. He's like very wholesome, and he, as far as I know, doesn't put anybody into actual torture traps. So that's good.
I don't think so.
That's a pro for me.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah. But I don't know if I have a ton more to say about Saw 2. Obviously, okay, he gets trapped he gets shackled and Amanda closes the door, game over, and that's how this one ends, right? The hard part for me is it do start to blur together a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to the other ones in the series and eventually talk through all the scenes, no matter which one they're in. But anything else to say about Saw 2, Holden?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty much through it.
All right, sweet. Let's move on to Saw 3 then. All right, right after this.